To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Good evening, friends. I'm sorry to have to welcome you to this invitational showing of Follow Me Boys in this way. I'd give anything to be there with you, but this seems to be one of those times I'm tied down here at the studio night and day.
To say that Walt Disney is an American icon is, it's a bit of an understatement. Everyone knows who Walt Disney is and more or less what he accomplished throughout his entire life and afterwards into the future. Everybody knows that. But there are some things about Walt Disney that a lot of people don't know. And, well, I mean, if you couldn't guess by the title of the video, that's exactly what I'm here to talk to you about today. Some things about Walt Disney that some people might not know. And I'm sure even some hardcore Disney fans don't know about what I'm going to talk to you about today. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Here are some facts about Walt Disney that you probably never knew. When Walt Disney was younger, he used to own a small, crude animation tablet and a few crayons and pencils that he would draw with from time to time. He also had a next-door neighbor named Doc Sherwood, who had a horse named Rupert. Now, what does Walt Disney's next-door neighbor Doc Sherwood and a horse named Rupert have to do with the whole Disney company? Well, I'll tell you. Doc Sherwood would usually find young Walt Disney peering over the fence into his yard and sketching Rupert the horse. Doc took a look at young Walt Disney's drawings and noticed how well done they were, so he took Walt Disney under his wing and decided to help him draw Rupert. Sherwood also decided to give Walt Disney a nickel for every single drawing of Rupert he made, thus kind of making it like Walt Disney's first art commission or his first job making money for drawing art. It was Doc Sherwood that really gave Walt the push to go and become an animator, and obviously you can see what effect it has on all of us to this day. So I suppose that, in a way, we all owe Doc Sherwood a big thank you. Now, I'm sure we're all familiar with the partner statue at Walt Disney World and Disneyland, but if you take a second and take a little bit of a closer look at the statue, you might notice something that, well, you've never seen before and you don't know what it is. Now, if you're a true Disney fan, you probably already know what I'm talking about. Walt Disney has a very interesting looking pin on his tie on all the partner statues all over the world. Now, is this proof about some sort of Walt Disney Secret Society Illuminati confirmed thing? Not quite. The symbol is actually the logo of a very popular Southern California country club called Smoke Tree Ranch. And yes, of course, on the list of people who loved to go to Smoke Tree Ranch in their free time is Walt Disney. You can find that in a lot of pictures he wears this Smoke Tree Ranch pin on his tie as sort of a show of country club pride, I guess. So yeah, I guess this means we have to start referring to Walt Disney as a fashion icon as well. Now, Walt Disney had a very keen interest in a certain niche sport, and that niche sport was called lawn bowling. And if you don't know what lawn bowling is, basically it's bowling, but on a lawn. The name is pretty self-explanatory. Now, much like myself, Walt Disney wasn't very, sports inclined, but he did enjoy lawn bowling. In fact, Walt Disney enjoyed lawn bowling so much that he would often go to Smoke Tree Ranch, mentioned in the previous thing you didn't know about Walt Disney, to play lawn bowling with all of his friends. And as a little bit of a side fun fact, Smoke Tree Ranch actually has a lawn bowling green designed by, I'll give you one guess. Alright, you done guessing? Did you figure it out? It's Walt Disney. Walt Disney designed the Smoke Tree Ranch bowling green. In fact, Walt loved this sport so much that after he passed, all of Walt Disney's bowling friends got together and decided they would hold a tournament in his honor. The previously mentioned bowling green and the tournament are both still going to this day. They both exist and are both still actively participated in, even in the year 2018. So Walt Disney left behind more than just a legacy of movies and parks, he also left behind a legacy of lawn bowling. Oh, and of course I forgot to mention the trophy. It features Walt Disney's 4 personal lawn bowling balls and a foot-tall Mickey Mouse statue at the top. So yeah, very Disney, very, unique. Now this might be a sore spot for some people, but back during the days of the Cold War there was this thing going around America known as McCarthyism. Because of the United States' feud with Russia, then known as the USSR, and communism as a whole, there was mass hysteria sweeping the entire country over the Red Scare. The idea was called McCarthyism because it was spread and popularized by a congressman named Joseph McCarthy. The whole idea was that anybody you know, even your best friend or your next door neighbor, could be a communist and could be a communist spy for the USSR. So of course people would go around accusing people of being communists even if they had no evidence at all, and those people accused of being communists were often sent to jail, or worse. Unfortunately, one of the people who bought into the second Red Scare was Walt Disney himself, and Walt would go on to accuse many of his peers in Hollywood of being communist. Sometimes someone's love for their nation can go on to blind them against what's really right. Because of Walt's testifying, some people in Hollywood were blacklisted and were never allowed to work in the movie industry ever again. Walt loved the United States of America, as evidenced by Mr. Lincoln in Main Street, USA. Walt even forged his own age on his birth certificate to be able to join the army during World War I. But this time I think we can all agree that Walt went a little bit too far, and this is one of the few black marks on Walt's life. Walt loved to educate though, so let's turn this into a teaching moment. Before having a knee-jerk reaction to something based solely on fear, look into it on your own, do some research, and form your own opinion. Let's not let Walt's mistake be in vain. Alright, enough of that doom and gloom. Let's get on to the last thing you didn't know about Walt Disney. No one's death is quite as shrouded in mystery as Walt Disney. Okay, well, there's not a whole lot about Walt Disney's death that is a mystery. He wasn't frozen and put under Pirates of the Caribbean, he was cremated, and he now rests at the Forest Lawn Cemetery in California. Let's just get that out of the way now. He wasn't frozen. He wasn't frozen, people! He was not. He was cremated. But a real mystery behind the death of Walt Disney is his last words. No one is quite sure what Walt Disney's last words were, but there are some speculations. Legend has it that just before his death, Walt Disney was very, very impressed with Kurt Russell's performance in the movie Follow Me Boys. According to legend, just before passing away, people were asking Walt Disney what they were going to do with the future of the studio, and Walt Disney said to offer a very young actor a contract with the Disney studio. When asked what actor, there was only one answer Walt could give. And that's Star-Lord's dad, played by Kurt Russell. Well, either that or Walt Disney knew about the Marvel Cinematic Universe long before it was even put to screen. So what do you think about this legend? Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think Walt Disney's last words were, and do you think they were Kurt Russell? I think there's something we can all learn from Walt Disney. Even though he was a flawed man, he was a deeply brilliant man, and he's given us the media empire and the parks we know and love to this day. I think we are all familiar with the icon of Walt Disney, but I think we all need to familiarize ourselves with the person that is Walt Disney. And remember the very common quote, "It was all started by a mouse." I think that we should never lose sight of one thing though, that it was all started by a man, and that man was named Walter Elias Disney. Hello everybody, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video of a top 5 list of things you didn't know about Walt Disney. Let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below. And are there some things that I missed? Are there some things that you know about Walt Disney that not a whole lot of other people do know? Make sure to leave those in the comments as well. Anyways everybody, thank you all so very much for watching. I will see you all in Disneyland, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.